Hey, my friends and family, my name's Trey. If you haven't been here before, this is Trey's Myths and Tunes channel. Welcome back, friends. Today I'm going to talk to you about how the light-blockers' suicidal plans to sicken life are obviously their own ends. They try to tell you things are right when you know they're wrong. They try to convince and coerce you to think that weakness is strong. Tell you what, I'm stepping out of this old brown shoe. I tell you, woman, I'm in love with you. But everything will change, nothing ever stays the same, girl, I'm telling you. The light blockers' suicidal plans to sicken life. Well, why do I have to call it that? Because it's time to try to awaken everyone to the Christ, to self-respect. And this is a talk about the extreme, vast, powerful measures Lucifer, the Rainmaker, BG, the entire NWO, WEF, and their minions, and Lockheed Martin, and the scientism death cult have concocted to sicken and take over the entire planet and all of humanity. Of course, the plan, one of the overall parts of the plan is to divide and conquer all, and through connecting us, but in a way that is controlled and technology that helps us to supposedly stay well, but does it? To take over the entire planet and all of humanity. I woke up this morning and my bowels did not work. I mentioned a video or two back about how when I had the near-death accident and I was in the ER for 5 days, I was constipated for 3 days. But typically, normally, I almost never have this problem. But I saw Elena Freeland do a talk in person, a talk about her book, Geoengineered Transhumanism. And she said they normally do most of the geoengineering at night, of course. And so, pardon me. So, as my bowels did not work, I drank way too much coffee. And I wondered if it was because this cold brew I got for a really good deal in a plastic container. Was it moldy? Or was it the plastic? Maybe. Then I tried maca, probiotics, milk, and CBD. And it was only after getting up and walking around that I could actually have a bowel movement. I'm normally very regular. Well, what happened? Well, I have IBS and possibly benign intestinal cancers and other spots in my digestive organs or dark spots. And as it turns out, aluminum can easily destroy the abilities of a gut with IBS and the immune system's ability to function optimally. And, you know, I was just watching Cliff High do a video about how that's what the majority of the chemtrails or geoengineering dumps are, this aluminum. And so it registered in my mind, oh, well, that's what it was. That's why I couldn't make a bowel movement this morning, because they dumped a whole lot of aluminum, and I'm only in this tiny polyester room, if you will. So knowing that the morally imbecilic junior god dark controllers have put millions of pounds of aerosol aluminum, strontium, barium, and sometimes or possibly lithium, and of course nucleated ice into the sky, as I've learned most of that from Dane Wigington on his geoengineering.org and geoengineering YouTube page. What is colloquially known as chemtrails, or more properly geoengineering, is once again overtly the greatest crime and assault in your face perpetuated on all of planetary organic life, if you don't consider all the orchestrations that happened 4 solar returns ago or so. First, it was a long time ago. You were an unworthy separate soul. Your fleshy, your evil, sinning flesh suit is broken from your divine mind at the very least, if not your whole body mind, or an unworthy separate soul, a sinner, separate from God. Then it was, more recently, they came out with this concept: your DNA is 96% junk. No, their programs are 99% junk. Junk food equals junk DNA. Junk food plus junk air. Nanotech, heavy metals, lithium, all the space fence, Operation Space Fence. I want to say it's a dual-edged sword. I want to say thank you to Google and the CIA, NSA, YouTube. I love that you can track me all the time, because it means I can learn about psychology or whatever I want to on YouTube for 7 hours a day or whatever, till my phone runs out of juice, right here in this camp. I mean, okay, it's a wonderful gift, but at the price of what? My ethers, at the price of my illness, being able to feed off that energy. It's plausible questioning, I have. So the truth is that what they call junk DNA can become 100% divine. But you will have to, each one of us, in order for that to happen, you'll have to do the archaeology of do the cleansing, the physical cleansing, and the psychological shadow work, spiritual work on yourself, to heal all those strands, to awaken the fragments that get off the junk food and get on the organic everything. Ital is my way. Ital, it's how I healed this body from 15 broken bones in 6 months, sun baths, bone broth, and this beautiful California sunshine, CBD, THC. With diligent research into alternative media sources that are uncensored, you can determine the real intent and results of the fully sick, international, insane, mad scientist experiments half of humanity has been coerced into agreement with for over 4 years. We can see the incoherence, the athletes collapsing on the field within the first year or so, the neuromuscular destruction, the clotting in children that would never have occurred naturally, and the fully pathetic attempt to cover these up by quickly changing definitions, like changing S.A.D. from seasonal affective disorder to sudden adult death syndrome. All of S.A.D. is a day-to-day rapidly changing affair, because I have the original type, seasonal affective disorder. So if they dump enough heavy metal aerosols on me, if they dump enough aluminum on me, aluminum aerosols, and then the whole sky becomes gray, and whatever other elements it caused, including natural elements, I'm going to get depressed. And then the next day I might be happy because I'm in the sun, getting my vitamin D and minerals, and my as it were, my natural communion with the sunshine, interfered only by a couple $1 million worth of aluminum aerosols or whatnot that you can't really see. As Elena Freeland told her friends, if you don't see that baby blue, if you see that haze, you're still being dumped. This all of this can be made clear as the FOIA makes the ending of big farm TV commercials. For example, like this is all legal, because this is all kosher for me to say, because the FOIA makes it so that this is all just known Freedom of Information Act, okay? So it is S.A.D. sad how I could be sad now and then be hot tomorrow, or be feeling wonderful now and horrible later tonight when I'm breathing in that aluminum dust. So when you feel a rapid temperature flux, it's 100% inorganic. It's geoengineering. Okay. if you can do the extensive research to learn the truth. However, what is a more overt way of Uncle Lucifer saying, I want you and all organic life sicker? Okay, obviously they love to exasperate all illness for profit. For example, they never talk about the harms of eating sugar or poisonous chemicals. The exploded Georgia Guidestones admitted to their goal of wanting to eliminate the Hellites wanting to eliminate 90% of the population in their sacred stones. 90% population reduction. And remember, he's always loose-centric. Lucifer is always loose-centric. Uncle Lucifer saying, I want you and all organic life sicker. Every time they save your life, they're going to cause you harmful side effects and again, feed off the horrible bad vibes. It's called loose. Knowing about ascension, or the 3D mind control masters, these masters of mind control amongst the terrified into being 3D only, always cover their bases and cover their tracks and pay a lot of bribes and cover the judges really well, lowering frequencies, forcing separation, and pretty much doing a brilliant job, if evil could be brilliant, again, of putting point men in almost every clique. I mean, the Council on Foreign Relations orchestrated the whole thing a few years ago so well, okay? I'll admit it. They put point men in almost every clique, targeting for just about every single truly awakened soul is targeted, if not all, are targeted by these beings, the dark side beings and the clubs. And physical pseudo-invisible blocks on awareness are, out the wazooski, are the name of the game in World War III, obviously. So take self-replicating nanotech colonies forcibly out of the conversation, like even if I don't bring any of that up, okay? And it's still very obvious. Uncle Warbucks wants you weak, wage slaves. Keep the beast system going. Keep the cogs that keep paying your taxes. Keep paying your insane bills so they can live off it as vampires. And they want you to be their humanoid cyborg duty bots. Why aluminum? Why would they dump millions of dollars worth of aluminum? It's cheap and it disrupts many bodily functions, digestion being one of the most obvious. So that's why I thought of the idea for this video, because I couldn't make a bowel movement until I realized it's because this aluminum poisoning. It does not exist in nature in a free-floating way. I forgot the exact scientific. You can look up the exact science on that. I apologize that I don't have more notes. This was all spontaneously what I thought of this morning, but it doesn't. Since the aluminum industry began extracting it in an unnatural way, it's pretty new. I think around a century old. We know that it's very harmful in human bodies, and to the sky and earth, plants and animals on the surface level. That dumping this geoengineering to cool it down. It does a great job of cooling it down while they're dumping it, but it's very harmful to life. We know that. All organic life requires a relationship, a direct relationship, unmediated, no middleman, with the sun. What happens when this relationship with the sun is permanently blocked or partially obscured by aluminum? I mean, look at my videos and look at the ones where I'm sitting in a geoengineered sky and look at the light refraction there. You'll notice that you can barely see me on those videos compared to like right now. It's pretty, well, we got a little bit of aluminum there now. So what happens when it is permanently blocked or partially obscured by aluminum? Question mark. What do you think? The sun is very healing, as I said, in concentrated and controlled amounts, and needed by organic life. Without it, topical illness, such as ones I've suffered from, grow. Uncle Lucifer gets his mission accomplished when he blocks out the sun, you see, because that a lot of illness will grow. The humans remain in a lower vibration. The diseases and mutations grow. And he's happy, and he gets more and more loose and more business. Business is up. The conflicts of interest and all of the great reset are blatantly obvious. The heartlessness, the soullessness, the overt black hole, overt oblivion awareness of these beings, it's sadly blatantly obvious. God is so altruistic. He loves to contract these dark corporations to make it gray and 25 degrees cooler whenever such and so forth wants, all over the planet. Whenever they make the arbitrary decision to destroy it. Is God a violent, mad scientist with massive mind control powers that can make most souls slaves in perpetuity? What do you think? Let me know on Rumble or Odyssey, or if you put anything on YouTube, make it nice. Because YouTube's a Libra controlled by the CIA. How fucking ridiculous does Lucifer have to get before he is denied full control over the entire planet and all of humanity? In other words, how much more of these insane shenanigans, inverted, sick, crazy ideas like geoengineering do they have to pull before no one obeys them? How dumb and willfully ignorant do you have to be? How obediently suicidal is it to believe that the scientism death cult, when they consistently say there is no weather manipulation, there is no such thing as chemtrails? How many more Lahaina's, towns destroyed by floods, do we need before Operation Space Fence and geoengineering programs are shut down? Because as I've said before, the SDC, just like politicians, just like Donald Trump, will tell you exactly what they're doing out of one side of their mouth and deny it out of this side of their mouth. It doesn't exist. This is exactly what we're doing. It doesn't exist. Well, guess what, folks? We're at a new era with this subject, with this topic matter. Tennessee, and before that, not as publicly known, the state of New Hampshire, criminalized geoengineering. Now, how are they going to enforce that? They're going to have a Tennessee and New Hampshire, state planes on patrol, ready to charge these billionaires $10,000 each time, I believe. How are they going to catch them? Good. Criminalize it everywhere, folks. Criminalize geoengineering in North America, then the entire continent, and we are getting somewhere. Okay. North and South America, Mexico, criminalize it all up and down. Then we're getting somewhere. Besides, cheap heavy metals / singularity / slavery planet, oblivion, sun and blue skies. We're going somewhere besides the black hole planet. Can geoengineering affect your mood? Absolutely. We need sun. It's a need of all organic things that live on the surface of this earth. Sun and blue skies are requirements for healthy life, hot or not. It's all really obvious these days. Why must we take silica supplements? I just recently learned, I was researching that silica gets rid of the aluminum, so I'm going to go back on that very soon. And it's really obvious these days how Lucifer says, I want you ensickened by aluminum aerosols and heavy metals. I want you to be a humanoid cyborg slave forever, or a fully compliant narcissist psychopath, a predator, or some insanely depressed black hole of a borderline obedient to them Pollyanna. Forced compulsory education is to make people compliant and good workers for the beast. The whole fact that Rockefeller forced children to go from first through 12th grade was to make them a good worker or slave for the beast, a cog in the system. There is no such thing as and nowadays they teach. In this one school district in Chicago, they have the option twice a month for the second graders to learn how to be a healthy Satanist, and they teach openly that there is no such thing as God or a soul in most schools, public schools. Yuri or Klaus Schwab, spokesperson, says that it's a superstition. We can program it out. We can program it out of folks. It's an old-fashioned superstition that humans had a soul or a spirit. Nancy Pelosi says that the Constitution is passé. Oh, yeah, that's so clever. Why don't you be more overt about it? your totalitarianism, dictator, commie-ship. Make no mistake in overstanding. We are on the front lines of World War III, and we want to keep this an intellectual battle or a psychological discussion, but it's not already with these invisible weapons like geoengineering, which is waged in mind control and tiny pseudo-invisible weaponry technologies. Mostly God, the real one, is actually, guess what? Very, very benevolent and awesome. She gave us free will and physical life. She gave us this amazing gift to make things with our hands, to create songs and dances and poems and ideas and inventions and come up with concepts that allow us to be more respectful or more pathetic. She gave us free will. She gave us free will. Can you imagine if we really have that, if we really reclaim that in a harmless, respectful way, what that means? She gave us physical life. Yet the Rainmakers have also done a very successful, amazing job, thorough job in circumventing, preventing, or directing that will back to their vampire schemes. Okay? Lucifer really lost his real light. This is why I shouldn't even use that word, according to some people, long millions of years ago, when Lucifer's rebellion, before he took over the whole planet socially from the Brotherhood of the Snakes. All he has are false realities that have grown, through his brilliance of mind control and creating false realities through vampirism and war and suffering and guilt trips. False realities that have grown to the point of being really, really violent and actually genocidal, and becoming physical, violent, genocidal realities through satanic ritual and blood drinking on a planetary level. Fortunately, the light blocker narcissist also has no respect for himself. I don't know how many times I've said this, but enough. I hope for some of you for it to have sunk in if you watch these videos. These overt plans to sicken all of life are destroying the dark's insane plans, because California and USA are Sagittarius rising. The Christ awareness is growing. The truth is the future, not the Decepticons' version. They cannot continue to do it. So they're going to have to repent or lose all their power. So give thanks, folks. Give thanks we're in the second coming right now. The reptilians' ancient New World Order is fully suicidal, because humans are getting the eyes to see. Tyler of Journey to Truth podcast said they shoot themselves in the foot every step of the way. Why did he say that? Well, it is all an intention. What is the intention? What was the intention behind this act? What was the intention behind that act? What is the meaning of the word apocalypse? Mark Passio brought this up. Apocalypse means post-revelation. We are in the apocalypse, meaning the post-revealing of the truth. Okay? Life goes on nearly, if not fully, forever. Okay? Is Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, starting a moral revival around our skies, or a morality revolution about taking back the sovereignties of necessity of deep, rich blue skies? In the end, all of Lucifer's scams cut him off from life. Okay? Every single one of them, including the ones each and every one of us do, if we still do anything to obey or copy him, that will cut you off from life. Okay? And worse yet, some of us are some humans are along for the ride. They're not even aware of it. They're going on a roller coaster ride to hell, and they're not even aware of it. Humans are the hands and co-creators with the makers. Weather warfare and mandates and CBDC are the junior gods. Suicide. Because, again, originally this was a free will planet. And if you people are dumb enough to try to force CBDC on Americans, it's going to be just like 4 or 5 other countries that tried to do that, and they're going to light your cars on fire, probably the same damn stupid shit. And so we can obey the killer vampires and die in miserable soulless loops in the black hole of Abaddon, or take on the extreme challenge of the collective discipline it will take to peacefully reject this massive atrocity and clean this all up for the real age of light within Christ Sophia, where the Rainmaker and all their families can only be a shadow. And at one point, over a decade ago, I thought they could just only run the prison system, for those who made huge mistakes, but I was wrong. They tried to make the whole world into a prison overtly. Will we achieve this necessity of the collective discipline? Well, only the timeless now, the flowing moment of the creation will be able to discern that. If you enjoyed this, if you haven't already, make sure to click the subscribe if you like that, and I'll send you more like this. And send me some money if you're wealthy and you feel like you've learned something or it helped you. And realize that it's up to each and every one of you. If you reclaim the divine power within to create a great one, my family.